This is the part two of the refactoring project, the refactoring work we're doing on the Cashbook transaction setup. And in the last video, the part five, we succeeded in implementing the new Cashbook transaction um, setup. So, um, what we now want to do is to work on editing an unsubmitted one. And essentially, we still want to do it the way this one is behaving, where you just click on a particular one and it opens it up in edit view for you to do the editing. So that is what we want to do now. Right now, the default, there's been some amendments to the code, so it's not actually going to behave in the default way, so I won't click it. But at the end of the day, we're going to remove this edit button because we want clicking the row to just open it in edit view, so we don't want the extra edit button. So that will also show how to remove this button just in case you don't want the edit. So let's do that. And what we need to do first of all is to identify the intercept point. Remember in the last video how I copied over some code from the existing implementation of the badly designed Cashbook transaction setup. So we're still in the Cashbook transaction view model list view controller. And the idea is that in order to intercept, because what we want to do is that once you click here, we want to open a new view. We don't want the default behavior of the framework to take place here. So we're going to intercept this click event here, and we need this controller to do that. This is the controller responsible for that intercept. And the whole idea is that if you come to the unactivated event, you take a handle on the controller and you subscribe to the appropriate event where you will now write the code to open the view. Now, remember I said that once you create a business object, just like our Cashbook transaction view model, the system is going to, or by default, is going to create three different views for that particular business object. So, what we did was we have written the controller to control the default one that was created, which is the one that is responsible for this view. When you click new, we used the default view that was created for that purpose. So you can see this is our Cashbook transaction view model. This is the list view. It creates three: the detail view, the list view, and the lookup list view. So we used this one, this detail view, for the new Cashbook transaction setup. So we cannot use that same view for the editing. That is where I'm going to. Otherwise, we'll be writing too many codes. And the fact that the presenter that is in charge of editing is different, it makes sense for us to separate these two views, right? The new and the editing. So in order to achieve that, what we're going to do is right click on the default one, which we have already used for creating a new one, and we'll right click and say clone. So it clones it, but this time around, our naming convention will be edit Cashbook transaction detail view. So remove the copy. So that is what we are going to call it. So they're exactly the same thing, but right now, separating them in this manner will allow us to write a different controller for this one, which we have a different presenter based on the fact that we are reusing an existing presenter. So this is the name that we are going to use in this place. That is the view we want to open. Every other thing remains the same. It's still the same model, all the parameters, and because we are coming from this is the selected object that you clicked on. This statement here is supposed to stop the default behavior from happening. Once you say the handle is equals to true, it will prevent the framework from opening the default one is used to. So this is compulsory. Then the selected record is here. You create the new object space, then you create the new object because we are going into a new view. So our method here is to create a new object, though it's existing anyway because we're editing it. Then we set the ID of the object. That's all the view it is going to, and the controller needs to populate the UI. Then this is the instantiation of the view. Then this is how to show the view. So that is what we need. The next thing now is to write the controller that will control that view. So we come to controllers folder, right click, and since it's a detailed view, after I installed Code Rush, I can no more see the Devexpress add Devexpress item, except I go to add new item, then I pick Devexpress. What's happening? Yes. I installed Code Rush, and all of a sudden I can't see. Like it has affected the menu is now limited. Still Express controls are still here. So why can't I add? Wow, this is surprising. After installing Code Rush, All right.